Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I have a weapon review of the A-91 from the engineer class for you guys. Obviously, since this is from the engineer class, it is a carbine, but before we talk about the gun, I'm going to summarize this gameplay really quickly. Right there, my mouse unclicked, or else I probably would have gotten that guy. But basically, Team Deathmatch on Strike at Karkand, as you guys know, or unless you're new, I always do my weapon reviews with Team Deathmatch because it allows you to really focus on the weapon. Um, the final score was like 70-something kills and like 30-something deaths. I don't know exactly, but I didn't show the whole game. I just showed a few select clips that show some of the different ranges and stuff for this gun. So that's it for the gameplay. We'll go ahead and get to the gun. In this clip, I am using it with a PKS hold sight, and a foregrip and a heavy barrel. The heavy barrel I actually accidentally equipped and then left it there. I usually don't use a heavy barrel. I use a what's it called? A red dot or a laser sight, because this gun is superb hip fire gun. You know, close quarters. This gun is amazing if you can hip fire with it. And if you notice, the crosshairs when I'm not moving are really small compared to other guns when, you know, not moving, and that makes the hip fire excellent. And you'll see that several times in this game. But otherwise, my recommended setup is I prefer the PKS hold sight, not on any other gun but this one, because it allows me to see a little bit farther, and this gun's fairly accurate with burst fire. But before I get to that, actually, we're going to go ahead and look at this clip I put in the top left. This is just showing the bullet grouping and the kick. So you can notice very tight bullet grouping at hip fire close range, and as you can see, it's only slightly less, if not the same amount of accuracy as when I scope in. Now, obviously, compared to hip fire, burst fire, which you really wouldn't be doing at that range necessarily, then that's obviously a lot more accurate, but usually you'll end up taking down your enemy quicker with the hip fire or the full auto. Now from back here, hip fire is very ineffective, as you can see. Scoping in and full auto is just about as ineffective, but when you burst fire, you can get, once again, some really nice and tight bullet grouping. And then when you move closer, this is about the range I would recommend for full auto at the farthest, maybe a little bit farther. But after that, you want to burst fire definitely, and hip fire is not really an option. So that's pretty much that for that clip, and then I'm going to do a little art here. But back to what I was talking about, I prefer to use a red dot sight, or most people would. Silencer is very good, but it does take away from the range of a gun that already isn't really used for long range stuff. I mean, it is accurate, but you don't necessarily want to be using this long range. Like right here, this is just a fail at aiming, but I end up getting him. That's kind of a long range for this gun, though. Can get a little bit farther kills, but not fast enough and not consistently. So, you know, definitely a medium to close range gun, excellent hip fire, red dot sight. For most people, like I said, I prefer the PKS hold to allow me to get a little bit longer range foregrip, but with the upcoming patch, that may be subject to change since they are nerfing it and boosting some of the other attachments that go in that area. And once the patch comes out, I'll have more on that. But basically, besides that, I would actually use, especially on a map like this, a laser sight, because that allows you to do excellent damage with the hip fire setting, which is, once again, amazing on this gun. I think I'd say it's actually on par with some of the submachine guns. So, you know, very, very nice gun. Is it overpowered? No. I know some people say it does, but some people probably say just about every gun is overpowered. I definitely don't think so, though. I lose to the AEK in a straight shootout most of the time, except for I've worked on aiming for the head, and funny that that was a headshot there. Hip fire, though, you know, not necessarily. That was not what I was talking about. But when I scope in, I've worked a lot on aiming closer to the head, and later on there will be a clip showing just how effective that can be when you're outnumbered. But, you know, this weapon is really, in my opinion, one of the better engineer weapons. I do, in fact, prefer the G36C. The Scar H feels like it has a little bit more power, but it has a smaller mag, and, you know, this gun's really easy to handle. Now, as to the kick, it has a tendency, normally it has a fairly stabilized kick, especially with the foregrip, but it has a tendency to jump one direction, like left for example, and then jump all the way to the right really quickly. And on my kill a second ago, you can actually see that in action, because if you noticed, it does just that. Otherwise, on long-range shots, it tends to go to the top right, most notably when you are burst firing. That's just with burst fire, though. And then, you know, full auto. Hip fire kick doesn't really matter, because you're usually using that close enough range that the kick doesn't really affect you much. But when you are full autoing while scoped in, expect those really quick left and right kicks at random points. But that's pretty much it for the kick. It's pretty easy to handle, especially compared to some of the light machine guns, and to guns like the FAMAS. I find that this has a more handleable kick, if that's even a word. Not quite sure, but we'll make it a word. Now, otherwise, you know, just gotta be careful. Check your corners. This gun will get taken if you guys are just as accurate, not including headshots. It will be taken out by an AEK or a FAMAS, for example, if you are in a straight-out shootout, both of you right on target start firing at the same time. And so, you know, you want to aim for the head, definitely, and don't do what I did there and reload after every shot, especially when you're in a heavy combat situation, because it could have resulted in me getting killed. Luckily for me, I did not. And then right here, kill this guy, and look at this. Oblivious much? Huh, bro? Of course I do get taken down, but yeah, that guy should have seen me. And here, aim for the head, my friends. 2 headshots, took down 2 guys, and nice double kill there. And that was a very good range to effectively use full auto on this gun. Now, the heavy barrel does have advantages because it does allow you to do some more damage at longer range, and that gives this gun, you know, a better long-range thing. On this map, it's not necessary, but I had it running because there's not a lot, as you can see, of really long-range shots to make. You shouldn't be taking shots all the way down the street, but on maps like Caspian Border, you might actually want to run with a heavy barrel, because that can be very helpful on maps like that. And on a map like that, I would recommend this site or the ACOG site. As of right now, I always recommend the foregrip, but, you know, sight scope is pretty much preference. And just like all of the attachments are really your preference. What do you feel comfortable using the gun with? So that's what I use, and, you know, the rest is up to how you guys feel. If you use this gun, just, you know, find something that you like and go with it. Obviously, it's probably different for everyone, although I feel foregrip's probably pretty universal. But as you can see, it is a very powerful gun and can win some gunfights. And most of you probably know, because if you don't use it, you have been killed by it. And if you haven't been killed by it, then I am surprised. But yeah, I like to, at certain ranges, you know, there's a time when you really burst fire, and when you full auto, but like, let off the trigger just a little bit, like I did a second ago. And right here, just tried to duck behind cover and failed really quickly. But you know, you respawn, and that is the end of the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I thank you for watching. Hopefully that helps, but that's the A-91, and please leave a rating and a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.